Who will be the next American president is what we are going to be discussing in this video astrologically. I want to tell you that I live in India and I don't follow politics. I don't know what Republicans do or the Democrats do. I don't really worry about who is what, okay, between these two candidates. But the entire thing is based on astrology. If you ask me what credentials do I have, okay, I have actually predicted American elections. In 2008 and 12, we can actually go and check Facebook. I have correctly predicted who will become the president. And even if I'm talking about the last elections, you can check the YouTube video where I have actually predicted that Joe Biden will go on to be the next American president, while all the odds were actually in favor of Trump. So what is going to happen in this election? We're going to do this in 5 different parameters, actually 4. The 5th one is a bonus for you. Okay, the first analysis is going to be on the basis of the horoscope of the candidates in fray. So we are going to check into the horoscope of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and see if they have credentials, astrological credentials to become the presidents. Number 2, we are going to discuss the horoscopes of the presidents, the vice presidents, the vice presidential candidates. We are going to discuss and see if they have it in them to be occupying such an important position. Number 3, we are going to be looking into the Karmic quota. Now this is extremely important and interesting because we need to see as to either of the two people, one has already been a president and the other one has been a vice president. Now do they have it in them to become a president again and to become a president? Those possibilities are there existing in their charts. We are going to see that using Karmic quota. The 4th one is we are going to look into the current planetary transits. We're going to look into the major planetary transits happening at this point of time on the horoscope of these two presidential candidates and see whose transits are better. And finally, the bonus. Oh, no, I'm not going to reveal it right now. Stay tuned till the end of the video and I'm going to be telling you something very interesting. Whichever part of the world you're going to be in, if you're in America, you are an American, or if you're going to be in India, or if you're going to be in Bangladesh or in any other part of the world, it's going to impact you. Something which is very interesting and that is going to impact you, and I'm going to talk about that, and that is very, very closely linked to the American presidential election. So stay tuned till then. Now before we talk about the horoscopes, I want to take up the very interesting thing about the before the final of the elections. The election debates are going to happen, and here is where a personality of a person comes to fray. And if you're looking into the personality planets, the Sun, Mercury and Moon, where they are placed, they indicate the personality. And Donald Trump is a Gemini. He has a Mercury in Gemini. Sun is in Taurus and Moon is in Scorpio. So he's largely a Gemini. That is what the traits you will see. And Kamala Harris is mostly a Libra and Aries. Aries and Libra, combination of Kamala Harris versus the Gemini of Donald Trump. Donald Trump, is like has really challenged Kamala Harris to come on a debate, and I'm going to tell you, it's really going to happen. The debates are going to happen, and they're going to be interesting. And here is where the personality traits play out very, interestingly, and that is a Gemini. See, we all know now Donald Trump, right? He goes on TV or he goes on media, and then it can be social media, and then he gives away a lot of things. He says a lot of things. And many of them, it's not a biased statement. Understand, this has been verified and validated by various syndicates and various authorities that many a times whatever Donald Trump says, most of the things, or at least many of the things, are either lies or fabricated truths.
Everything he just said is absolutely false, but I'm not surprised.
Really? The fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie.
He's averaging an incredible 13.5 false claims per day.
Trump spewing this blatant lie.
I counted at least 22 false claims from Donald Trump.
He managed to pack 5 lies into 140 characters.
They are the same lies over and over again.
You're entitled to your point of view, Mr. President, but you're not entitled to your own set of facts.
And that's the same thing is going to happen during the debate. Donald Trump is going to throw a lot of stuff on Kamala, and Kamala being the Aries Libra. The Aries has the passion, the intensity, and goal-orientedness. And if you're going to talk about the Libra is eloquent and she can talk very beautifully.
Can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been? What can be? Unburdened by what has been. What can be?
You know, there are some phrases which has been attached to her, but then she will show her that she's much more than whatever those words you associate her with. She's going to talk very beautifully. So Kamala is going to really thrash Donald Trump in the the debates, which is, I mean, because she's going to put up all the facts and figures, and Donald Trump is going to throw a lot of stuff which will be interesting, and she'll play very well, is what I can say. Okay, now let's go into the main horoscope analysis. Let's talk about first of all, the planetary positions. If you're going to look at Donald Trump's chart, Donald Trump has got a very, very powerful horoscope, extremely powerful. He was born with all the 4 asteroids exalted, the Chiron, planet X, Y, Z exalted, and he's also born on a full moon day. Okay, and if you're looking at, there are so many things that is there in this chart. We'll talk about that later. But the very important thing that made him a president, he became a president once, right? So that was because of he's born on a full moon day, and the sun is also full. When you're born on a full moon day, the sun is full, the moon is full. The full sun in the 10th house, and 10th house is the house of the government. And also he has a planet Z in the 5th house. See, 5th house also indicates movies, showbiz, TV, media, entertainment, and he was also an entertainment mogul, isn't it? He was firing people, okay? So, besides being into entertainment, he was also, that for 5th house gave him also that government, and sun gave him the government, the full sun. So that is the reason he became a president. So he has those planets to be a president, right? So, one. And if I'm going to talk about Kamala Harris, interestingly, Kamala Harris was also born on a full moon day. Now, that's very interesting. If you look at both their horoscopes, you will see that the sun and the moon, the degree, I mean, the zodiac signs are exactly opposite, the sun and moon zodiac signs. And the moon is, just 1 degree, about 1 degree lesser. And that is like complete full moon. Both of them were born on full moon, which is wow, So both of them have amazing horoscopes. And interestingly, Kamala has her sun in the 5th house, and 5th house is all about the government. And in the same 5th house, Kamala also has Neptune in deep exaltation. Now 5th house is government, and mind you, the 5th house is also, the Neptune is also her 10th lord. 10th house is career. The career planet is exalted in the 5th house of the governance. Okay, and besides that, she also has a very powerful planet X in the 1st house. 1st house is personality. So what it means is that, she also, the 5th house is government, and she has been a vice president, but then the chart indicates something even bigger. Because it's not just one planet in the 5th house. There are 2 very powerful bodies, the full moon and the Neptune, extremely exalted Neptune. Both of them in the 5th house indicates that she won't be just a vice president, she can go beyond that. So which means, in round 1, I would say that it is equal. So Kamala and Donald, both of them have similar horoscopes in terms of the possibilities of becoming a president in their charts. Now let's look at the charts of the vice presidents. We don't have the exact birth details of the vice president candidates. We only have their birth date. So from that birth date, we'll try and understand whatever we can see. So I'm looking at the chart of J.D. Vance. He's got a Neptune, very powerful. Planet Z has come into 0 degrees, which is extremely powerful. Uranus is powerful, and Jupiter is powerful. So he has like 3 planets strongly placed, and he has like 3 asteroids, very important planets. They are very, very weak in his chart. They are debilitated. So the horoscope is like okay. And if I'm going to look at Tim Wald's horoscope, Tim Wald is born in the same year, the year 1964, when Kamala Harris was born, and the planetary positions are exactly the same. So a deeply exalted Neptune. Then we are looking at 3 asteroids are extremely powerful. Planet Pluto is in exaltation. So there are more planets which are deeply exalted or more powerful in Tim Wald's horoscope than J.D. Vance's horoscope. So what it means is, if I'm looking at the vice president candidates, it seems like Tim Walz has got better chances of reaching a higher office than J.D. Vance. So what it means is round 2 goes to Kamala Harris and team. Now let's look at the next important round, and that is, we are going to look at the Karmic quota. These 2 people, Kamala and Donald, both of them have certain achievements in their lives. But is there a possibility that they can do something beyond whatever they have done so far? So now that is the big question, and we're going to see the horoscope of both and see and figure out as to is there a possibility. Let's start with Donald Trump. Donald Trump has got a phenomenal horoscope, as I mentioned before, and he was born on a full moon day, so let's not forget that. The full moon is it is very powerful in two ways. Number one, most of the people who are born in very rich families, or they come from a great legacy, they all are born on a full moon day. But if you're not born in a great family with a great legacy, but still if you're born on a full moon day, then you will go on to create your own legacy. So Donald Trump belongs to the first category. If I'm going to give you examples, like the current, if you're looking at Prince William, for example, he was born on a full moon day. One of his son, his son or the daughter, they're born on a full moon day. His spouse is born on a full moon day. So there are so many kings and queens. If you look at the entire, British history, you will see that many of them are born during full moon days, full moon or a new moon day. So Prince William was born on a new moon day. So this is extremely powerful. This is extremely important. So being born on a full moon day or a new moon day, and Donald Trump was born on a full moon day, but he was born in a very big family. So what it means is the part of the full moon has already done its job. And if you see his chart, the full moon is in his 4th house, and 4th house is about family. So he was born in a great family. And if you look at his second house, is so powerful. Planet Chiron is exalted. Why is exalted there? Second house is all about money. So he was wealthy and he was a businessman. Second house also indicates business. He has a planet X deeply exalted in the 8th house, and 8th house is all about real estate. So he was a real estate mogul, that is a huge businessman. So that comes from the planet X. So the majority of the planets have already played out their role, and the full moon, the planet Z has actually made him even an actor. He was a celebrity on television, right? So that is also given. It's already given by the planet Z. So, and if you're looking at the full sun exalted in the 10th house, has already made him a president once. So what it means is, if you're looking at the chart of Donald Trump, it seems like every planet in his horoscope has already given him what he is. Just by being born in a place, the full moon has done its job, and so many other planets have done their job. Okay, let's look at Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, she has got an extraordinarily powerful 9th house, and 9th house is all about, she has a planet Y there, Chiron exalted there, and the 9th house is all about the law. She has been an attorney general. She has reached those top positions in the law, the legal matters, and she also has a full moon in the 5th house, and 5th house means the governance. So she has gone on to be the vice president, of a country. A very powerful country. So that is again a very, very big achievement. But now, if I'm looking at wherever she has been so far, is there any sort of an improvement which is possible in her chart? If you're looking at a chart, yes, there are at least 3 factors we are looking at which are extraordinarily powerfully indicating that there is something bigger that can happen in her life. Point number 1, the planet Pluto is there in the 3rd house, and 3rd house is about strategic leadership. So she has been the number 2 in the government so far. Number 1 was Joe Biden. So normally, number 1 in any position have the 3rd house very powerful. So which means she can actually become the number 1. Number 2, Neptune is in the 5th house, very, very deeply exalted, and the Neptune has so much power that it can elevate a person to a greater level, greater possibilities. So which means whatever she has got is only because of her full moon in the 5th house, but the Neptune can actually take her to the next level. And the planet X is actually posited in the 1st house, and 1st house is also about personality. So which means she can even go to the next level. So it seems that if I'm looking at the karmic quota of certain planets, I would say that some very, very powerful planets are yet to deliver their karmic quota in Kamala Harris's horoscope. So Kamala Harris has got more chances to do something bigger in her life compared to Donald Trump, who has already done a lot in his life. So round 3 goes to Kamala Harris and the team. Now let's look at the 4th factor, and a very, very important factor, and that is the transits of the current planetary positions. Now this is very important because the current transits indicate as to what is going to happen to you. Are you going to be winning? Are you going to be losing? Are you going to be impacting in a big way? What is it going to be? So if I'm looking at the current planetary transits, the major planetary transits are Planet X transiting Gemini, Planet Chiron transiting Aries. Now these are all exalted positions. Planet Pluto is in Capricorn, extremely powerfully placed right now, and Neptune is transiting into its own house. It is transiting Pisces. So these are 4 very, very important placements. If I'm looking at the horoscope of Donald Trump, then Planet X is transiting into his 11th house. So 11th house is a very, very powerful house. 11th house means the second half of life. So that's a very important transit. So it is good for him. We're looking at the planet Chiron. Chiron is transiting his 9th house. 9th house is luck. So probably a luck factor is there with him. So which means it's a powerful transit. Okay. So 2 transits. What about Neptune? A very important planet. It is debilitated in the horoscope of Donald Trump, and it is transiting his 8th house. So what it means is that because the planet is debilitated, which is weak in his horoscope, it means that it is going to give him negative results. It means it is not positive for him. So a very important planet like Neptune is giving a negative transit. So which means 8th house means trouble, challenges, upheavals, sometimes health issues. Then we are looking at Pluto, another major planet, and it is the most important planet in terms of hierarchy, and that planet is also debilitated in the horoscope of Donald Trump, and it is transiting his 6th house. 6th house is about domestic issues and also health issues. Personally, it can be health issues. It can sometimes be, if he goes on to become the president, it can also mean health issues of the people, and there can be domestic challenges. So what it means is that 2 planets which are minor bodies, the transits are good for Donald Trump, but then 2 major planets are in negative transits. Okay, cut to Kamala Harris. If you're looking at the horoscope of Harris, the same planets, Planet X is a major planet, and it is transiting into Kamala Harris's 1st house. 1st house is the house of personality. So 1st house means personality, means what? An elevation in your personality. You are already a vice president, it can elevate you to the next level. Neptune, an extremely powerful planet, is transiting her 10th house. 10th house is the house of career. Just imagine, simultaneously there are 2 major transits. One is transiting a 1st house of personality, and there is another planet which is transiting a 10th house of career. That is phenomenal. Career and personality elevation. There is a transit of planet Chiron into her 11th house. 11th house means second half of life. Second half means as you grow older, 50 plus. So she is close to 60 now. So that transit is also very positive. So which means she is going to get elevated as she keeps growing older. And finally, we are looking at Pluto. Pluto is a very, very powerful planet in the chart of Kamala, and it is transiting her 8th house. 8th house means changes, other people's money. So, and it's a positive planet in her horoscope, and the transit is also a positive transit. So, Neptune and Pluto, 2 extremely important planets, are also powerfully transiting the horoscope of Kamala. So, what it means is, if you're looking at this 4th factor, the transits factor, that is extremely loaded in favor of Kamala Harris and team. So, round 4 goes to Kamala Harris. Now, if I'm going to look at the horoscopes of the vice presidents, J.D. Vance has got Neptune, okay, exalted, but Pluto, the most important planet, is in deep debilitation. The transit is bad. He has all 3 asteroids. Chiron is debilitated, Y is debilitated, so those planets are making debilitated transits, so it is not strong. And if I'm looking at the horoscope of Mr. Tim Waltz, he has got a more powerful chart, almost similar to, because he was born in the same year, 1964. So exactly the same planets are making the same kind of transits. So we don't know the chart, so we don't know exactly where, but then they must be making the right places. So which means, again, even in the vice president charts, we are looking at as J.D. Vance is not having a most favorable one, and it's Tim Waltz who scores over. So in the final analysis, if I'm going to look at all these 4 factors, it seems that Kamala Harris seems to be the person who will finally go on to win this 2024 American presidential elections. Yes, that is the big news. That seems to be I would say that astrologically, that seems to be the verdict that the planets are giving you. Okay. Now, I'm coming to this bonus segment, right? I promised you that I'm going to give you one bonus, and this is probably something which is very, very important for you and for me, from the perspective that it's going to impact our lives in a big way. So we need to know this, okay? And that is now, in my book 91 predictions, I wrote this where I had written about various personalities. This book was published in 2021, and I had talked about how the planetary transits are going to impact various people in various ways. Okay, and one of the important thing that I mentioned was about Kamala Harris. I wrote about Kamala Harris that something really typical, something that is going to go wrong. Okay, with Joe Biden, the president, and Kamala Harris will take over, because a powerful transit of our planets are indicating that. So that is first one, and that first part of the prediction has come true already. And now there is an extremely important thing that is seen in the chart of Kamala Harris, which can be a clincher here. Okay, now what we need to see is what after becoming the president. I mean, let's say Donald Trump becomes the president or Kamala Harris becomes the president. What will they do? They are going to be doing certain things for the country, right? And whatever they are going to be doing for the country, that path, that entire path, what they are going to follow will be indicated by the major transits that is going to happen in their charts. And if I'm going to look at the major planetary transits, the most positive transit that is happening is of Kamala Harris. And if you look at Kamala Harris' chart, the most important planet is Pluto. Pluto is transiting her 8th house. 8th house is all about what? 8th house is all about something called as other people's money. Now this is extremely important. Why? Because in the next 4 years, the planet Pluto is going to go into an avatar. Okay, it's going to go between the degrees between 8 to 12, 14 degrees. Now these 8 to 14 degrees, 15 degrees are extremely powerful in a negative way. And whenever Pluto goes into this negative path of grey lizard, then the world goes through some troubles. In the 1930s, when it went through this trouble in this grey lizard path, the World War I happened. In the 1940s, again when it went into the grey lizard path, then the World War II happened. And if I'm going to talk about the latest one, when did the latest grey lizard patch happen? It happened between 2008 and 11. And what happened during the time? You know that, right? The world went through recession. And there was Barack Obama, the man who was called upon to handle the crisis, because he had such planetary transits which indicated that he's going to handle such a problem that is going to happen in the American economy, which is very interesting. That's a different story altogether. So if I'm going to look at these two people here, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is the one who is having the transit of the Pluto into the 8th house, other people's money, and this Pluto is going to go into the grey lizard. So what it means is that Kamala Harris is the person who is called upon by the cosmos, by her karma, by her kismet, or whatever you call it as, that she is the person who is called upon to take care of the economic crisis that is going to happen in the America. So she is the one who will take charge and take the country, take the American country to, whatever is going to happen, whatever the rock, the boat is going to rock, and she is the one who is going to steady the ship, and she's going to the one who is going to put it in the right direction and ensure that the American economy doesn't fall off or go into trouble. So she is the one. So thankfully, it is not, I'm going to talk in detail about all of these things. What is grey lizard, what happened in 2008, why it was bad, what is going to be the magnitude of this coming grey lizard, how will it impact America, how it is going to impact the other countries. I'm going to talk in detail about all of these things in a new video. So that's the reason, what you need to do is you need to subscribe to my channel, so that you will, whenever I put that video, you will know what is happening and it is going to impact you. I'm going to also talk about individually how it is going to impact your life and my life. What is your ascendant and how is it going to impact you? Grey lizard will impact. I'm going to put all those videos. Your financial impact, your physical impact, your relationship impact, everything. I'm going to discuss that. I'll talk about the world economy and also about your economy, right? So please do subscribe so that you don't miss these things. So the bonus prediction that I want to tell you is that in the chart of Kamala Harris, it very clearly shows that she is the one who is the chosen person to handle this major crisis that is going to come upon the United States of America. Okay, I'm going to just leave you with this final thought. Some people will say, okay, what happens if not Kamala Harris, but Donald Trump, he goes on to become the president of America? What will happen then? Oh, what happens then? Okay, see, is there a possibility of that happening? Yes. You can't rule out that possibility, right? See, he has a very bad horoscope, he has very bad planetary transits, and if something is supposed to go really bad with America, then the American people will elect Donald Trump as the president. So if that happens, what happens is Donald Trump's planets will take over. So which means we are looking at Donald Trump's Neptune going into the 8th house. 8th house is troubles, problems, major health issues, upheavals, okay. And if you are looking at Pluto is transiting in 6th house. 6th house is health issues and also domestic challenges. Now understand that the current grey lizard patch is exactly similar to what happened during the about 250 years before, when Pluto was transiting Capricorn and the grey lizard. The same time was something similar to what happened in the American Civil War. Remember American Civil War? So during those times, whatever planetary positions were there, the same one is happening right now. Okay, but that time it was civil war, but this time it can be something else. It can be this time it can be economic trouble. So if Donald Trump goes on to become the president of America, okay, then God save America, because in Donald Trump's 8th house is where Neptune will transit, and into his 6th house is where Pluto will transit. Pluto is all about domestic issues, domestic troubles, and 8th house is about other people's money, other people's troubles. So which means the American economy is going to be in shambles. There are going to be huge troubles, and Donald Trump will find it extremely tough to manage the whole situation. And the Pluto can indicate that, there can be a lot of local issues. Economic issue, local issue, leading to a lot of other upheavals and troubles, and which can impact America in a big way. Okay, so I would just say that if Donald Trump goes on to become, in fact doesn't matter, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, either of the two become the president of the America after the elections are over, I'm going to make a separate video, okay, as to what will happen to the American economy, okay, now that this person is the president. If it is going to be Kamala Harris, it's good for US, or at least it will be manageable. If it is going to be Donald Trump, yeah, there are going to be so many troubles, which we will see, okay, when I'm going to make my future video. I'll go into I'll deep dive into everything and talk about what is going to happen to US and what is going to happen to the other people in the world. So ladies and gentlemen, I can just say that yes, it does look like the American people are going to do something significant, something extraordinary. They have never done this before, and I'm really, really surprised that it has never happened in US. US is supposed to be the most advanced country in the world, but then, even the smallest country in the, one of the smallest in the world, like Sri Lanka, even they had they had a lady president, okay. One of the conservative countries in the world, Pakistan, they had a lady president. India, of course, had a very powerful prime minister, lady prime minister, and even Bangladesh had, lady presidents. Okay, but America, you are supposed to be the most advanced people in the world, and you never had a lady president, which is really, really surprising. Okay, and finally, yes, we have a lady who has the horoscope. In fact, see, just imagine the magnitude of this whole thing. A lady, in the 250-year history of America, there has never been a lady president, and a lady has to have a phenomenal horoscope. And this person is going to leave a phenomenal legacy by becoming the first American president, a lady president of the United States. And does Kamala Harris have that kind of a horoscope? Absolutely. Full moon born. She is the one who was born to create that kind of a legacy. Yes. So Kamala Harris, it is going to be. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video, and please do share this video if you like it, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so far, and see you soon in yet another video about something interesting that is happening around the world, and also about finance and money and sports and politics and so many more.